Ray Saldana, President and CEO of Communities in Schools. And welcome to our second episode of Community Chats. So last month, when we launched Community, 42 states had just stay-at-home orders. And as of today now, more than half of the states have relaxed stay-at-home orders and have started to reopen. And the evidence actually here in Texas, we're starting to reopen. That's happening here. As you can see by my hair, the length of it, and these sideburns that are from an episode, a 70s sitcom, I'm not going anywhere. Look, I like to be a trailblazer, but I am not going to be the first one to go through the wall in this one. So I'm not going anywhere, and especially not the first week or two of reopening. So the closest I'm getting to going anywhere is streaming into your tablets or to your phones or to your computers. So we're not here to talk about reopenings. What we're here to talk about is actually the effects of the closings and really what it means for students, specifically graduating high school seniors. So listen to this. According to EdWeek, now 48 states have closed schools for the rest of the academic year. So it's a given now that kids are not going to be able to finish out the year or in the classroom or attend prom, or most importantly, walk across the stage to receive their diplomas. And so if you're like me thinking about what this situation is like for students today in this environment, really, which is historic in a lot of ways, you have a lot of questions. And so I have a lot of questions. And as we are celebrating graduation season and graduates across our network and beyond, we're joined by two CIS alumna, Cole of CIS of Nevada and Brianna Gaetz of CIS of South Central Texas. Both of these ladies have been working on the front lines to support our students during the pandemic and have seen firsthand the effects that COVID-19 is presently having on students and their families. And so we thought there's no better way to get a sense of what's happening with CIS students and the response on the ground, and to talk to some of the folks who not only live the story of a lot of our students, but are in the front lines working with them today. So with that, let's introduce our first guest, Whitney Cole, who is an alumna and site coordinator at CIS of Nevada, and just someone that I'm a huge fan of. I had the chance to meet Whitney in person a few months ago in Nevada. It just makes me smile when I think about what it means to have leaders in CIS who have a different kind of motivation for the work, one that is not only professional, but also personal. So Whitney, welcome to Community Chats. Are you there?
Yeah, thank you for having me, Ray. Thank you.
Hi, Whitney. I didn't hear that. Maybe you're on mute. We'll try it one more time. Just checking in.
Yep, can you hear me now?
Exactly what happens every once in a while. Okay, Whitney, can you try again? Are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Not yet.
Oh.
We'll stand by.
What about now? Can you hear me?
Not yet. Just can't hear you just yet. This is the first time we're trying it with a few of our alumni. So we'll see if we can't pull it off.
How about now?
Oh, I hope it's not my end. Actually, I can see you. I can see your background. I just can't hear you. Let me check if it's anything on my end. I don't know. It doesn't look like it. I'll ask tech if they want to pull us through here. Let's try it one more time. By the way, in the meantime, my scenery has changed. For those who have been checking in last month, I now have a plant, which it makes me just feel like a complete person. So I've got my plant in the back and my globe. Stay tuned next month, see what I'm going to bring in next time. And still no real news as to whether I'm wearing shoes or not. All right, so we're going to try to quickly try to switch up the order. I said we had two CIS alumni. And what we'd like to do now is try to see if we can bring in Brianna. Brianna, are you there? Okay, well, Okay, I think most of the world can
How
hear
about
you.
now?
I can't hear you as well. So what I'm going to do is just ask, and everybody can hear you. Then it'll just be me on my end. So let's start here. The team has told me a lot about. By the way, Brianna, just how you doing? How things going? The last like 2 months. Tell me about it.
Oh, I'm doing good. I have my companion right here. If I didn't have my dog, I would start talking to my plants. So we're just pushing along. We're trying to do our best with everything that's happening. So just trying to find the positive and silver linings and everything.
Well, good news. Not only can I see you and your pup, I can hear you now. I solved the problem from my end. And for folks who think about doing this live sometimes, they're probably thinking about the tech folks in the back who are running around like crazy. What's going on? I figured it out. I was on mute on my end, like physically on the computer. So apologies for the technical difficulties. Brianna, thank you so much for joining us. You are based in Austin and you work really what's been going on across the network and beyond. We've seen and heard stories of compassion, particularly in Texas. And I've heard you and other alumni have volunteered with CIS of South Central Texas. Of course, like that's your space to deliver meals to families in your community, along with staying connected virtually with students. So what has it meant for you to show up as a caring adult now, role reversed for when you were a CIS alumni for students and their families during the crisis?
I think that it's a collective effort. We have board members, our admins, site coordinators, supervisors, and of course our alumni. We are really moving full steam ahead. I remember the first week when there was an opportunity to volunteer at the food bank, our alumni took it. And we made those bags at the food bank, delivered them. I know for me as a student, I relied on those 2 meals a day at school. And so we're doing those daily deliveries of breakfast and lunch to our students. We have our own weekly distribution site at McKenna where we're able to prepare these amazing food bags that the students can prepare themselves. And so, I mean, like we're really moving full steam ahead. On Tuesday, we had a tornado warning and we had to shelter in place in the middle of making these bags. I mean, we waited till it passed, but that just didn't stop us from giving our kids those food. I mean, you look at like what happened at Wilson County. We had this was 20 minutes away from us, but there was three students who were found malnourished, 2 of them taken to critical condition. And so I was looking at like the report on KSAT, and that home looks exactly like the homes that we deliver to. So there is a lot more work that needs to be done, but it's just incredible to see everybody show up from doing counseling online to even providing the tech needed to even make everything happen. So it's just been amazing to see everybody.
Yeah, I think Brianna, you describe what it sounds like to rally, and it sounds like a lot of the CIS alumni who have volunteered understand what it's like to be in a position and need help. So you're describing really great work that's happening on the ground. And so for students who found safety now, what's really been taken away, who have found safety at school or with the engagement with a caring adult, what advice would you offer for students who are struggling with staying focused on their goals or completing their schoolwork amid the pandemic right now?
That's a really good question because like a lot of our women and a lot of our children are home with their abusers. And so I'm very, very afraid of not just the physical impact of this, but the mental and the social impact of when everything comes out in the open, because the truth comes out of the open no matter what. And I think like for me, when I was in high school, it was either I choose another day to be put in a position, in a situation that I don't want to be, or I choose homelessness, or I choose, insecurities and losing everything. And I think that a lot of students are going to be faced with that question. So what I have to say to them is that it is scary. It is so scary to make that decision, but don't be afraid to tell your story and don't be afraid to get help, because there's definitely a community behind you that believes in your dreams and knows that you're going to achieve.
Well, Brianna, you've been such a shining light of an example of a student who has sort of lived that in the same way that I talked about Whitney as somebody who takes this work as a professional, but also makes it very personal because of the experience you've had, really first generation trailblazer in all the right ways. And it just really is a blessing to have you around doing this work. So final question here before we go back to Whitney. And what role do you think CIS alumni could play in supporting students with returning to school when hopefully in the fall, if that happens?
I think that alumni are like the best source of social accounting, because we really have a different lens on how to help these students, and we know we were in their shoes, so we know how to I guess how to approach that situation. And so I think that alumni can go to their affiliate and ask, what can I do to help? What, is there a possibility for me to mentor a student maybe who has the maybe same story as me or the same career path, or and I think like being an alumni and doing speaking engagements and really engaging the community to what's happening on the ground, and really showing what we're doing, what this organization is all about. But I think that alumni, we're the product of all the resources of everything, and so we really need to make our voices and our stories heard.
With that, I said that was the last question, but I think one of the last questions really is because you've been able to be somebody who has had somebody invest in them, you're now investing in these students. So as you think about the fact this is graduation season, what advice would you share with the graduating class of 2020?
I feel like a lot of students feel like they didn't ask for this. A lot of people this is the first time, they're the first ones in their family to graduate high school. They're the first ones in their family to graduate college. And this is such a big milestone for them. And they feel like it's just swept away. It was taken from them. And so I think that just doing what you can, like continue to take those graduation photos, continue, to celebrate and be proud of what you accomplished, and continue to make the space for your goals, because the world is going to need your talents and your gifts now more than ever.
Well, Brianna, it's always inspiring to get a chance to chat with you. Trailblazer in your own right now, blazing trails for other young students who you can, I'm sure, see yourself in. So thank you so much for joining us and sharing a little bit about what it's like in South Central Texas in your work and with the students that you're serving. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Ray.
And so now let me transition back to Whitney. Whitney, if you're there, please let me know.
Hello.
Hey, Whitney, I can hear your voice this time. I apologize that that happened, but gosh, let me check in. You are in Nevada. Tell me what's going on, how you're feeling, how you're doing.
Yeah, man. At first I was a little anxious just with the news. Of course, it was like a little unsettling, but now I think I'm optimistic and just hopeful right now.
Yeah, that's good. I was thinking about like asking you a scale of 1 to 10. So think about that and you can give me an answer, but
right now it's about a 7.
Okay. I think we're all operating at about like a 6 to 7 on our days. So let me just ask this, because you've been a psych coordinator now through communities and schools and have benefited from having a psych coordinator in your life. So now that this is all new, like this pandemic, what creative ways have you been able to stay engaged with your students beyond the school walls now?
Right. And like you said, the school walls, because CIS is used to bringing psych coordinators and working with our students in school. And right now I feel like CIS is bringing it back to the communities. And so it's written in our name, kind of. So we've been delivering food. We've been out delivering essential items, just like hygiene products and things like that to support our students and families. But then, we've been getting creative, just using technology. So I'm sure that we're all used to, those Zoom technicalities right there. So just using Google Classroom and things like that to just kind of get by.
And do you think that like this new feature, whether it's Zoom or checking in the new ways, like, is it affecting your relationship with the students? Like, what's the feedback that you're getting in those conversations with students about what that feels like right now?
Yeah, so it's a bit challenging, just because you can have those challenges as far as some students don't have access to Chromebooks or laptops at home. So it has been a bit challenging, and I would say just because of that barrier there. But other than that, we as site coordinators have been just getting out in the communities and trying to do our best with giving out food at the food giveaways. And sometimes we are able to see our students in that aspect.
We, Whitney, thinking about you, thinking about Brianna, like, and really the faces and the names of all the site coordinators, of which there are probably about 3,500 all across the country. I think what's really great is that the site coordinators, in your case, in Brianna's case, look and feel like the community. You're from the community you're going back and you're serving in right now. And in many cases, this is like a big deal for graduating because it's graduation season. It's a huge deal for seniors who may be the first in their family. So many graduating seniors now are not going to have the opportunity to do those special things they look forward to, attend prom, walk across the stage, or receive their diploma. Like, what advice would you offer to the students of the graduating class of 2020? So what does that conversation sound like for advice?
Right. It's very unfortunate, what's going on. And my heart really goes out to the class of 2020. As someone who just graduated not too long ago, only 5 years ago, I definitely feel for them. So my best advice would be just to, keep your head up. We're all in this together. You always have support with CIS. And congratulations on all your hard work and accomplishments that you have done so far just to get to this point in your life.
Yeah. Well, it is really such an honor, Whitney, whenever I just get the opportunity to chat with you. And both you and Brianna, if folks want to know more about you, we've got a bio up on our website, Communities in Schools. And if you search alumni, you can just read about all the amazing things that not only our site coordinators are doing, but the fact that they themselves have had the kind of story that is relatable to the students that we're trying to help. So Whitney, thank you so much for joining us, telling us a little bit about what it's like on the ground in Nevada. Anything else before I close out here? I never want to like leave our conversations. There's always such fruitful ones.
Right. No, it's been great. And thank you guys for having me here,
Good. Well, Whitney, thank you so much for joining us. That puts us just at about a time. And I hope everybody enjoyed today's community chat. What we were trying to do was really talk to some folks who are asking about what is community schools doing right now in this moment? What are we planning for in terms of the wave of students who we think are going to come in needing our help? And so really, to both Whitney and to Brianna, a virtual hand clap if we can for our two alumni. You can learn more about us and them at communitiesinschools.org. You can also follow us here on social media. And as always, thank you for watching. We hope that you'll join us next month. We'll work out all the kinks, and same time, same place. See you soon. And remember, wash your hands. For watching.